Wake Up America, I'm Rob Finnerty. Steve Bannon was sentenced to 4 months behind bars for refusing the January 6th committee's subpoena to testify. He was also fined $6,500. He will remain free pending appeal. But the big news on Friday, former President Donald Trump also subpoenaed to appear within the next 3 weeks before the Democratic-led Jan 6 committee. For more on what this all means, let's welcome back in former Acting U.S. Attorney General Matthew Whitaker. Great to see you, Matt. How are you?
Good morning, Rob. Great to be with you.
Okay, this was by the way, Donald Trump, like a month ago on Truth Social, said, hey, if they wanted me to testify, why didn't they have me do it in the spring or over the summer? Why do they suddenly want me to do it days before really important midterm elections? But that's where we are right now. So I'm wondering how you think this plays out. Trump's got multiple options here, but he could, of course, just comply and go in there and testify. But most experts don't think that's what he's going to do.
Well, Rob, I think the whole purpose of the January 6th committee is a completely political end, and that is to crescendo here at the midterm elections to insert an issue that the Democrats think is helpful to them. But at the same time, you know, the documents were subpoenaed from President Trump, and those are delivered before the election. His testimony is allegedly going to happen after the election. But that issue is going to be covered the entire time, and the twists and turns of it. I remember this committee is not balanced. There is no pro-Trump or really Republican-appointed people on the committee. You have two people that Nancy Pelosi appointed. Both are not going to return in the next Congress. One lost, one retired, and so it's a completely partisan sham.
Yeah, you're talking about Adam Kinzinger and Liz Cheney. We knew this was going to be partisan when Jim Banks and Jim Jordan were both turned down. That's who Kevin McCarthy wanted to be on this panel to represent Republicans. Okay, so Donald Trump could appear, and he could take the Fifth Amendment. He could appear and read some sort of statement that he's prepared, read that, and then take the Fifth. Or he could refuse to appear, which would set up a legal battle between his attorneys and the Jan 6 team. But basically, that would buy Trump enough time for Republicans to retake the House formally in January and then cancel the subpoena and really terminate the Jan 6 committee altogether. What do you think he does over the next few weeks to respond to the subpoena?
Well, I mean, he's got smart lawyers that are helping him, but I think he's really going. He really wants to go and tell his story as it relates to what happened on January 6th. I think the narrative, as we've all watched, public part of this committee has suggested somehow this conspiracy that didn't exist, and so I think knowing him, he would like to explain and defend himself and his part of this moment in American history. But I think the Steve Bannon case is actually related to this subpoena, because remember, Bannon was subpoenaed. Right. He refused to show up. He was held in contempt, prosecuted, now sentenced. But his appeal is going to go directly to the issue of the constitution of this committee and whether or not, because the minority leader, Kevin McCarthy, didn't participate in the formation of this committee, whether it's even a legitimate committee that has subpoena powers. And so that issue could resolve in Bannon's appeal and apply to President Trump. And so I just don't see President Trump completely wanting to go down this, but at the same time, you never know. He might show up on the 14th.
So you think that Bannon's got he's got a very good case in his appeal?
Yeah, I think it's actually a legitimate case that has to be considered by the courts. I don't think that our founding fathers would have ever thought this is the way that Congress would enforce its subpoenas. Right. And in fact, nobody has been prosecuted and sentenced since I think the 1930s. And so in this, this ability for this committee to subpoena, hold in contempt, and then be prosecuted, I think is legitimately on the table as part of Bannon's case. Obviously Peter Navarro has a similar case that's behind in the schedule, and the same rules would apply to the president. But at the same time, I also think, you remember this DOJ refused to prosecute Mark Meadows. And I think obviously Donald Trump is a lot more similar to the Meadows case than it is the Bannon case. But this issue is all going to come to a head. And I think at the end of the day, the Democrats are going to rue the day that they've decided you can set up a one-sided committee and issue subpoenas and then have those enforced by DOJ.
Great point. And none of this would preclude Donald Trump from running for president again. Is that accurate? Because Saturday he was at another one of his rallies and he came as close as I've heard him come to making an announcement. Basically, he said, I think I'm going to have to do it. And that meant run again. We've got just about 15 seconds.
Yeah, I don't think, I believe Donald Trump's running in 2024. I think he'll be a very strong and formidable candidate. Joe Biden is very weak. His policies are not working. And the American people definitely want something different.
Yeah. All right. Former Acting Attorney General Matthew Whitaker, great seeing you. Thanks for breaking that down for us. We appreciate it. We'll do it again soon.
Good to see you.
All right. We've got a lot more.